Good morning. Happy Friday. I have had dozens of people in my comments mentioning the warrants out of Ohio. Chilli has a couple of bench warrants out of Ohio for failure to appear. They're bench warrants. Literally no one cares about those bench warrants. The question that's being posed to me is, will those bench warrants have any impact on Chilli getting bond pending his district court appeal? My answer to that is no. Number one, I don't think that judge at the Justice Court is going to give him bail based on his answers at that trial, based on his demeanor at that trial, based on his lack of remorse at that trial. So I don't think it would have any effect that way. But additionally, that judge will not and does not care about those bench warrants. That judge was the judge who gave him bail at his initial arraignment, maybe even OR because he was out. I mean, he had bail. He had bail conditions. He was released from custody. In fact, I think on the original arrest, he was released later that night. I don't even know if they had any, if it was a set release fee, like a set bail fee or anything like that. I think they gave him a ticket and kicked him out the door. So knowing, and the cops who arrested him would have been able to see those bench warrants. Those bench warrants would have most likely been included in any. My guess is that they would have been able to see him. That those would get into the National Crime Reporting System or whatever they call it. And still they released him. And the judges, not only the judge in this case, but the judge in his other Nevada case in the Las Vegas Municipal Court, he's also out on bail there. He was a free man until he was convicted at the Justice Court on the 20th. He was a free man. So pause to consider how little anyone cares about those bench warrants. If you're fixated on those bench warrants, then it's a you thing. It's not a the rest of the world thing. And to give an example, a real world example, obviously I don't practice law in Ohio, but I do practice law in California. And I had a debtor's exam against a debtor, an order of examination in San Joaquin County. The debtor did not appear. I asked the judge for a bench warrant. The judge issued a bench warrant. Sweet. Later, through a little hard work and investigation, I figured out where the guy worked. I got a wage garnishment against him. It started to get enforced. He filed an exemption, a wage garnishment exemption. So I filed a motion to contest it, and he showed up for that with his attorney, but he didn't show up with any documents to support his claim of exemption. And I noted to the court at that time it was the same judge who issued the bench warrant, and the bailiff in the room was the same bailiff who was in there when she issued the initial bench warrant. And I mentioned to the judge that, look, he hasn't shown anything to establish his claim of exemption. He didn't show up he was saying that he had turned over all the paperwork previously at previous debtors exams. I'm like, he didn't show up. There's literally a bench warrant out on him right now. Today, there's a bench warrant on him for failing to appear to a debtors exam. Judge didn't care. Bailiff didn't care. No one cared except for me, because I was trying to use it against him as, to show that he's a lying McLiar pants who lies a lot. Now, it was effective. His claim of exemption, my motion to have the court deny his claim of exemption, did in fact succeed, and his wages have been garnished successfully since that point. But the point of this whole statement of this diatribe is, no one fucking cares about bench warrants. I mean, if you get caught doing some like really heinous shit, like maybe if the bench warrant is for like if it's a bench warrant for a felony failure to appear, like something like that, maybe then people, but a bench warrant for a misdemeanor failure to appear, no one fucking cares. No one cares. No one cares. So I hope you understand. Like, I get it. You don't like Chilli, but reality exists, and Chilli doesn't fucking matter in the real world. Chilli does not fucking matter in the real world. He has such a negligible impact on society that unless you're in this tiny little sphere of people who know of him, unless you're in that tiny little sphere, he has no impact on the world. So no one cares about that bench warrant except for you. It's not going to change the world. It's not going to change anything as far as it relates to Chilli. The courts are going to treat Chilli like they treat everybody else. If you're an asshole in court, you're going to get treated poorly. If you show remorse, if you show respect, you're going to get treated better. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. And if I don't see you this weekend, have a great weekend.